What's up, pet people? My name's Lexi and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to go over which pets I brought with me during the move, how the move went, and basically my plans for 2021. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright guys, so getting right into today's video, as I kind of mentioned in my little intro, we will be going over how moving to California went for me, how the enclosures held up during the move, the animals I brought with me during the move, the ones I left at home, and a general plan for what I have in store for you guys for the 2021 year. As I said, I have left some animals at home. That's kind of what I want to talk about first. Many of you love my Honduran milk snake video and love everything I have taught or said about my Honduran milk snakes. Every time I've shown them, you've given them lots of love. But unfortunately, due to their size and just apartment restrictions I have and moving restrictions with animals to California in general, I had to leave them at home. Don't worry though, they are in great care. My dad is taking care of them. He knows lots about snakes. He's the one who got me into reptiles as a child. They're in very good hands. Both of them are going to stay there. I had one or two people message me about possibly buying them once they heard I had left them home or wanted to leave them there. They will not be sold at all. Once again, they're in the care of my dad and they're completely fine. I also had to leave my box turtles there, which I had not yet talked about on the channel. Hopefully one day I can get them here with me in California, but it does not look likely. I know they have kind of strict laws here on reptiles or certain animals you can have. I'm going to look more in depth in the box turtle area for that, but they might have to stay in California or in Texas as well. I'm now living in California, but they are also in great care. My sister has a box turtle anyway. She also has another tortoise that she's taking care of. So all the pets that I have left at home are in great condition and you don't have to worry about them. They just will no longer be shown on this channel. So moving on to the animals I did bring with me, I very obviously brought my cat with me. He's doing great here in California. He loves the apartment. He gets time out on the balcony. He doesn't go off the balcony. He is thriving here. I'm not going to be getting any more cats or any type of furry creature anytime soon, so the apartment is pretty much all his. Obviously the enclosures he doesn't go near or mess with, so that's just space for the reptiles, but the rest of the apartment is pretty much his and he is loving it here. I did bring my crested gecko with me, Ryder. I also brought my hognose Wilbur and my ball python Monty. Those were the main pets that I knew I could not live without. Wilbur was my first snake on my own. Monty was a rescue. She has a beautiful, wonderful story that now that I'm graduated and no longer really affiliated with the school I went to, I can talk about it more openly. And then of course Ryder was my first crested gecko. He was my first reptile in general. As I said, Wilbur was my first snake of my own that was not gifted to me or to my family like the Hondurans were. So those are the only ones I brought with me. You will be seeing them in videos coming up probably this month, or at least this month or next month. They are currently in their enclosures. The snakes are well, obviously the geckos in their they're all in their enclosures, but these snakes did eat yesterday. I do have them on a very strict eating schedule, and I do not mess with them after they eat or the day before they eat, so I just do not want to mess with them at all or bring them out. But I promise you they are in good hands. Please subscribe to this channel if you want to see them more, or if you're not if you are subscribed to this channel but not following the Instagram channel, please feel free to jump over there. I will post them more frequently now that everyone is completely calm and moved in, and I have a plan for this upcoming year and more reptiles I'm going to be getting. I think I'll post on there more frequently as far as updates, and then on the channel I'll just have my main videos where I talk about care and habitats and things of that nature. So now that I went over the reptiles I left at home and who I brought with me, we're going to go over how the move went in general. So I did not take any pictures or take a video during the move like I wanted to because I moved on Thanksgiving Day. We left at 4 a.m. I was up at 3 a.m. giving my cat his medicine to help him be calmer during the trip. It was a 16-hour drive and it was just very stressful. I was not fully, I was not in the mental space to where I could remember to film or I even wanted to film at the moment. As I said, I moved on Thanksgiving Day. I had class all the way up until that Tuesday. I just had so much going on, I completely forgot to film or do any of that. But that said, everything that I brought made it safe and sound. My reptiles did great during the move. My cat did great during the move. Everything did great during the move. More specifically, I want to talk about the enclosures I brought with me. There are lots of how to move your reptile type of videos, but they don't necessarily talk about how the enclosures hold up during the move. So glass enclosures are a bit trickier to move because obviously if they bump or they're full of different substrates or decor, things like that, it could not go well, especially with bioactive vivariums. I had my small 12 by 12 by 18 enclosure that Ryder used to be in when he was a baby. I had that enclosure in my car in the back seat because it is a bioactive, it has plants in it. It is actually going to become an enclosure for hourglass tree frogs, which I'll get into later, and it did really well during the move. I was worried about the hydro balls in the bottom like bumping or being too heavy and somehow cracking the glass, but because it was in the back of my car, that did not happen. Now, Ryder's enclosure was a bit too big to go into the back of my car, so it went into my mother's vehicle, and she brought it behind. My parents drove behind me during the move and helped me move everything. So that enclosure went into her vehicle. Now for Wilbur's and Monty's, and then I also brought an extra tank with me just to have. Their enclosures were in the U-Haul, and I was so worried about the glass of Wilbur's enclosure cracking, but then I came up with this wonderful idea, which was to put his enclosure with the blanket underneath, of course, not to scratch the inside of Monty's enclosure, into Monty's enclosure and just have the glass doors from Monty's enclosure kind of standing on the edge, and they moved so wonderfully. I was super scared of messing up my custom cages enclosure, the vision enclosure that Monty is in, but it moved so great. I actually am looking into getting more custom cages enclosures. I kind of have been looking into the hybrid ones, but that'll be another thing we'll talk about. But the vision enclosure, if you are planning on moving, or you know you're going to be moving, sorry, my cat's in the corner, you know you're going to be moving in the future and need a big but durable enclosure that you trust will be fine during a move, I highly recommend Custom Cage's vision enclosures. I go on about them all the time. I have multiple videos about them. They are so great. I love them so much, but I am just forever astounded by how great quality they actually are. As I said, during the move, obviously you have to take the glass doors out of the enclosure. I put them on the side of the enclosure. I taped them together, put a blanket around them, and then, like I said, stuck them in the side, and they did fine. The glass doors were fine. The enclosure itself had no scratches. It did great even with another enclosure in it. I was just very impressed with how the Custom Cage's vision enclosure and all of my other enclosures held up. I will say that my other extra tank I brought with me, the top of it somehow got messed up during the move, so I might not be using that enclosure ever, actually. I might just be giving it away or using it as like a propagation tank where I just grow plants out of it. I haven't quite decided yet, but as far as my other enclosures, they did great during the move. As I said, I'm sorry again, I did not take pictures or videos. I was very tired, very stressed, and it was a very long drive, but you will be seeing the enclosures as well as some new enclosures I'm going to be getting within the next few months, so stay tuned for that. Now, going back to the hourglass tree frogs I mentioned, I have been wanting hourglass tree frogs for over a year and a half now, but I really haven't put forth the effort to do anything about it. I've just been like, oh, I really want those, I really want those, I really want those. And once I moved Ryder from his smaller enclosure to his larger enclosure, which I will be once again redoing because he keeps killing all the plants, and I just wanted to have a better design. But once I moved him into the bigger enclosure, I had his small enclosure that was free, had nothing in it, and I wanted something to do with it. So the bioactive enclosure video I did, I think in June, that is going to be an hourglass tree frog enclosure. I'm going to be putting either 3 or 4, I haven't decided yet, probably going to do 3 just to be safe, just to see how it goes, just to try it out. But that enclosure has I've only lost one of the bromeliads that I put in there, and that was a my fault type thing. I did not mount it correctly. It got root rot. It was just a bad deal with the bromeliad. Really sad about it, but it happened, and all the other plants are completely fine. So that enclosure has been thriving. I've been able to keep a steady humidity of about 80%, which is what hourglass tree frogs need. And I've just been monitoring that tank empty minus the plants to see if I've been able to take care of what I need to take care of if I were to get hourglass frogs. And I have, so now I'm going to get the hourglass frogs. I'm going to hopefully be getting those around the end of this month, early February, March at the latest. I was going to order them off of Josh's Frogs, but there is a local breeder here in California near me that can get them for me, and it'll be cheaper shipping wise, and it'll be cheaper price wise as well, because they sell them a little bit larger, so they're going to be a little bit older than the younger ones that Josh's Frogs does. And I don't know what that has to do with pricing really, but I am more than happy to do that and get my hourglass frogs whenever I want them. Unfortunately, they are all out right now, so I have to wait a bit, but I'm willing to do that to not pay the shipping fees and have live animals shipped to me from such a far distance. I'd rather go drive and get them myself. So yeah, gonna be getting hourglass frogs, and there are a couple other reptiles I really want to get this year. I've been looking at a couple blue-tongued skinks. I really want an Ackie monitor, which if you know anything about Ackie monitors, they're smaller. They do require a at least 48-inch long enclosure, as do blue-tongued skinks. And for those who don't know conversions, 48 inches is 4 feet long enclosure. So I'm looking at a whole bunch of new enclosures. I'm just looking at a lot of great things that I didn't think I'd be able to do, but moving to California has broadened my horizons as far as the opportunities I can get with the reptile community, and I'm just so excited to see where it's gonna go. I am going to keep some of the reptiles I want a secret because I want to surprise you guys, but I'm hoping to at least get the Ackie or a blue-tongued skink within the next year. Hopefully both, but we'll see. I'm just really excited to see what happens and where this goes. Yeah, sorry, I've been saying a lot, so I guess I've run out of things to talk about. Now that we're at the end of the video, I would like to thank you guys for listening to me ramble about the move and my reptiles and the plans I have for 2021. Thank you guys for listening to me, and thank you for watching. If you watched all the way to this point, please give today's video a big thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I have lots of plans for this year, and I'm super excited. I have big things in the works, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. And yeah, just thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. So, bye.